Lee and Fanica Algamada. Technical officials are Barbara Hogan, Sonia Craig, Uriah Fenner and Hong Chen.
So welcome to Glasgow National Hockey Centre on this lovely evening tonight under the floodlights. Scotland just finished the national anthems and done some shuttles going into the little huddle with India. So I'm joined here tonight by Lee Cousins. So looking forward to the game, Lee, tonight?
Well, I think we're going to get quite a contrast in the games here. This is a very young Indian side, average age of only 22, but with some vast experience, having come about the World Junior Cup last year, where they medalled. Maybe against a slightly more experienced Scottish side. I would guess that coming into this game, both coaches would have nominated India or Scotland and vice versa as the game that they would expect to win in this pool. So we should get quite a fierce contest, I think.
I think it's also quite interesting because in the Commonwealth Games in the summer, we will play, like Scotland will play against India in the group game. So that could be quite interesting, just to be quite a cagey affair today, looking long term towards that game. But we'll see how both teams get started. Scotland are starting with the ball to kick us off here in a couple of seconds' time. So Scotland straight away looking to go forward, straight off. Emily Maguire through the aerial route. Ali Bell just a wee bit too far, too close to the Indian defender as she brought it down. Scotland working pretty hard higher up the pitch to try and get the ball off them. Good play there from them just to get the ball into midfield. Rani Rita, really strong, experienced player driving the ball forward there. Have you seen much of the Indians so far then, Lee?
No, I haven't seen them so far this tournament.
I commentated on the game last night, and the first half, like, they got the ball strong, they like to hit the ball a lot, and they're very individual. It's typical kind of like the Indian, Pakistani kind of background. They love to, like, when 1v1 they'll take you on. So hopefully, like, Scotland can kind of 1-to-1 defensively be strong to kind of win those battles and then move the ball away from the Corridor, because it's kind of try and swarm around the ball to try and win it back, and a lot of numbers that they're doing at the moment.
Yep, they're certainly pressing high now. They're marking 1-to-1 at the back and pressing with all four forwards.
So Emily Maguire doing well just there to win a foul, take this thing out of the play. Just need someone to help out Lee Fawcett, who's on the ball at the moment. Looking long, and it's a really good run. Just unlucky about the pick up there at Ailsa Wiley.
You suspect that's how Scotland are going to have to bring a ball out of the back. If they can't go overhead, it will have to be the very strong hit down the sides.
Yeah, the way Scotland line up, they've got some really good players in the midfield, not to forget them. You don't want to, like, miss out players like Emily Maguire, she's midfield, Vicky Bunce is midfield, Murad McClellan, Nikki Kidd. So there's a lot of, like, experience in the midfield, so it would be quite silly, like, to bypass that, so to speak. And to Katrina Ralph, then down to Linda Clement. She's got space and a teammate down the line. Can Ali Bellix drive into the circle, get it on her front stick? Bit crowded, she's gone back in. Can you get the ball across? Okay, settle for the long corner there. Or free hit. There's a lot of numbers around the ball. We need to try and get the ball out there, Lee. It's quite, like, the Indians are hoping you keep the ball in there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good Indian fullback. Tried driving forward, looking for a pass. Intercepted there by Ali Bell, sorry. Vicky Bunce links with Linda Clement. Free hit awarded, so you have to bring it back outside the dotted line before we can move the ball 5 metres, before it goes into the circle. Katrina Ralph plays the ball out to Becky Ward. That's a nice ball, early transfer ball there to Lee Fawcett. Switches the play through Becky Merchant. Now Ward's got it going forward. She needs some leads ahead of her. Ailsa Wiley does really well, driving into the circle. Can we win something here? Yeah, we won the first corner. Well done. Well done, Scotland girls. Well done. I'm sure Shepard's got the team well oiled in these penalty corners routine, Lee. A lot of hours
Okay, is that Alison Wiley into the circle and just puts it onto the foot. Would be an interesting discussion whether that was calculated or whether it just came out the play. So the standards. So a standard setup here with 2 trebles. Nikki Kidd on the first drag flick. We'll see if the first one just goes straight down the middle, which is often the case.
Oh, they went for the option there. Lee, they went back to push her, and Ailsa Wiley just unable to direct her shot on target. That's a really good move from Scotland, just unable to get that ball on target. You see here. So Ailsa Wiley pushes it out and goes into a position. Lovely ball, just unable to direct it on target.
Very good opportunity, slipped back to the injector. She was wide open.
Well, I was just interrupted there. Well done, Lee. Ali Bell plays the ball in. Just unable to make that connection with Ailsa. India doing well there to transfer the ball down to the left-hand side. Driving infield. See, individually they'll be really strongly, won't they? To get the ball, and in a one-on-one they'll look to back themselves. Well done, Nikki Straston. Just winning the ball, driving to space. Linking with Ali Bell. Scotland on the attack here. They just need to do a bit better with that final ball, but we win a long corner.
It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting here that when India attack, they only intend to attack with 6 players. You see as many as 4 players deep. They do it on individual running.
Yeah, they do. They just leave them back. The defenders are defenders, really.
It's very difficult to have any sort of quick break because there's always 4 of them back there.
It puts a lot of pressure on the midfield of Scotland to really support the front three, because they are outnumbered straight away because of those 4 defenders just hanging back a little bit. Nice sling pass there from the Indian fullback out to the right hand side. Just unable to kind of develop further down the wing. Becky Ward over the ball for now. Let's have a look.
And here you see the short corner again. Very neat switch here to the injector in space, but just couldn't quite drag it across the goal.
Yeah. I'm sure the video analysing will be currently right now by Andy Kerr and Colin Clark up the tower will be trying to look and see maybe if there's any gaps in communicating with Gordon Shepherd for maybe the next corner, if there's maybe other gaps we can try and use. But right now we have to all hands to the pump to defend the circle here. Ball crashed into the circle, but Scotland awarded a free hit. Take the bit of sting out of the game there.
Yeah, bit of a mistrap there, just came up in the air.
So Becky Merchant's over the ball, she's repositioning her teammates to help get the ball out. Nice ball, it's gone all the way through to Ailsa Wiley. But again, good individual defending, 1v1 defending by the Indian back 4.
Well, once again, we've seen that long ball down the side as Scotland's outlet to get it down the field.
Sarah Robertson did really well there to win the ball and just unable to try and get it beyond. Okay, this is where we need Scotland to work back. We need to close. As soon as we lose the ball, as soon as Scotland lose the ball, we need to get the ball, try and keep the ball in that area and try and win it back as quickly as we can. Becky Merchant went for the high ball. Lily Maya-Begin has just intercepted it, but it's gone out for a sideline hit.
And this is the second time now the umpire has absolutely insisted on 5 yards.
Morag McClellan done really well there to win the ball back. And now she's played through Emma Maguire, who's under a bit of pressure here. She's got 3 people around her. She does well to play out to Ailsa Wiley, who beats the first player. And she's just unable to link with another teammate just outside the circle. Good individual skills there by number 2, Nina Gora, to cut inside Katrina Ralph and then play the ball down the line, but not able to connect with a teammate.
I think the Scotland coach will be slightly bit disturbed that most of the attacking moves for Scotland are down the left-hand side rather than into that right-hand corner.
Well, yeah, you could say that, but then you have to look at the Indian team are obviously doing quite well defensively, like forcing Scotland down the side. So
they're giving them that side, I think.
Yeah, they're keeping them here. So you almost need like the ball into midfield, or you can go over the top like that, but the ball into midfield and then out, and then a high transfer ideally. But we're just not able to get that transfer just because they have that numbers. Rita Rani trying to play the ball forward there, but Scotland intercept, and now they've got the ball with Becky Merchant. And Ailey Davis on the ball now. She can find her. Nikki Strassens higher up the pitch in space. Nikki's just putting pressure on at the moment. Now India forced to do the aerial route, dealt with by Ailey Davis. Plays the ball forward to Nikki Lloyd, who just drops it to Katrina Rao. Plays out to Morag McClellan. So that's quite a good start so far, Lee.
Yeah, I think Scotland will be quite pleased with the amount of ball that they've had and the amount of pressure that they've been able to put on. Maybe would have preferred if they could have made 1 or 2 more incursions into the circle out of the pressure that they've got.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, nice.
Dangerous position here if they could work it, and there's a spare play on the right.
So on the baseline, taking the ball. So shot off by Emily Maguire. Morag McClellan was in their defence, like trying to win the ball. It came off her stick towards goal. Keeper did quite well to pad that away from the danger area.
Yeah, great reaction save there.
A nice pass from Katrina Ralph all the way up to Morag McClellan. Can she do something along the baseline? Sarah Robertson's over to help. But she's forced out the D. And then she went for the reverse stick cross, just lifted that a little bit. It's good play from Scotland, so.
Yeah, really good opportunity there. You have to give great credit to the Indian keeper. Savita there, managing to make the second save even though she was already on her knees.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It was a really good save. So India now on the ball, just passing the ball around. It's a bit slower when they're on the ball, because I think they're looking for like that big long pass to penetrate into the forward line, but Scotland's zone, holding up well, forcing them out to the side.
Yeah, India offer only have 1 player up sometimes, and it's quite difficult to reach her.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Unless they're going to dribble through from the midfield, which is one of their characteristics, of course.
Vicky Bunce just tried to cut inside the field there, but it was broken down, then they run away, but Scotland managed to get the ball back. Here's Sarah down on the left, Sarah Robertson down on the left wing, winning a free hit. Moves off the ball, allows Susan McGilvery to step up and onto the ball. Plays the ball all the way back to Eileen Davis, who transfers it out to Lee Fawcett. Little bobble on the pitch there. Just closed down quite quickly from the Indian forward. Good work there by Vicky Bunce, working back to win the ball. That's what Scotland needs in this kind of game.
They're going to have to do that because once these Indian midfield players start to run, you have to match them.
Yeah, it was a nice ball, nice thinking idea from Lee Fawcett there, just unable to make that connection with the teammate. But next time, that's a lovely pass from Nikki Kidd. Good thinking, throwing the ball forward to Ali Bell, and then now she's on the left-hand side to support. So in the D, stay strong in the D. Well done, Linda Clement, winning another long corner. Early ball in. Scotland needs to try and get win those rebounds. Vicky Bunce tried the early self-pass, but just unable to make it into the circle to get either create a shot or make a connection. Ball's now with Linda. Back to Vicky Bunce again, drives into the circle. Well done Vicky Bunce, driving into the circle there. Tackled by the Indian defender, ball pops up. deemed dangerous, so they get another corner. So this one should be quite good. We would just have a look at this again.
Yeah, it's just okay as Vicky comes in. It just lifts off the Indian stick there. Quite an easy corner to give for the umpire.
So they've already had one corner, so this is the second corner. So
yeah, this is their second corner.
Same routine, or would you go for something differently? I'm sure they've probably discussed it.
Well, it'll be interesting, isn't it? They had the injector wide open on the first corner. You almost wonder if they'd go back there and just repeat it.
We'll soon find out. So Nicky Kidd there went for the drag flick, saved by the keeper. Did well to kind of pad the ball away. Susan McGill with the ball into the circle. Can we deal with? Can we get the rebound? Unlucky there, Susan McGill was able to drive forward. Scotland do well there to recover that. Well done, Lee Fawcett, round to Katrina Ralph, then round to Aileen Davis.
Here we see this corner again. Nice trap, front runner out. Quite an easy save really for the goalkeeper, high on the left-hand side. If you're a goalkeeper, I think you're always asking to see that.
Yeah, you should be. You shouldn't really let anything around, especially quite down the middle of the pit, down the middle of the goal, or kind of your left hand, because you've got your big pad. Scotland here, if they can break the support, they can do quite well. They've got 3 midfielders coming up to join the 3 forwards, but India do have numbers back at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, there's that same pattern again. When Scotland broke there, they broke with 2 forwards, but there were already 4 Indians back, and by the time the 2 Scotland players had joined them, India had 6 behind the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be quite tough. But it'll be interesting to see how physically demanding this game will be for the Indians. Like the Scotland, they're just starting their full-time program, so they've been doing that for a month now, and you can see massive developments in their strength and conditioning and their fitness levels. So that's quite good. At the moment, Susan McGilvery's just under a little bit of pressure there. Opting to drive down the line, losing out individually, and then India able to win a foul just at the halfway line. So Manjeet on the ball. Opts to play it back and round. Put under pressure by Ilse Wiley. Looking to drive forward, making connections. Thinking of a reverse stick pass. Good interception there from Lee Fawcett. Lee Fawcett's back on the ball.
And India not pressing like they did at the beginning of the game, Mark, when they would have about 4 forwards around the ball.
Yeah, it's a bit more
now
space.
They're just laying off for about 5 or 10 yards, giving Scotland a lot more time. I'm not sure that's the right thing to be doing.
But is that down to fitness, though? Because when you are pressing quite high up the pitch, it's quite tiring, as you can imagine. So you wonder if that may be something to do with their fitness. We'll soon find out. India just clearing the lines there, giving away a sideline hit just inside the Scotland's half. Becky Ward back to Becky Merchant, who's round to Lee Fawcett. Nice pass down the line for Ali Bell to pick up and drive. Was she going to get into? Oh, nice tackle from the Indian defender Namita Topo. And
the Dutch umpire here is signalling for a change. They're substituting the goalkeeper. So on comes Yogita Bali. I'm not sure why that is. I didn't see any particular injury to Savita. Did you?
No, I didn't. So it'll be interesting to find out if there was anything wrong with that. But Ali Bell has a chance here. Keeper makes a save, called it into action straight away. Really good thinking from Nicky. I think it was Nicky Kidd who played the ball into Ali Bell.
A really good save though from a lady that's only been on the pitch 5 seconds.
Very good save. Straight into the action, isn't it? Here's the replay here. So Nicky Kidd passes to Emma Roy.
Beautiful touching ball.
Nice first touch.
Yeah.
Get the ball out of her feet. Yeah. Nice reverse stick
Goalkeeper
shot.
perfectly positioned. And here you can see it again. She comes out here, cuts down the angle, and meets it with her chest.
India win a free hit there in the middle of the pitch. And again, they're quite direct. Lee Fawcett deals with it, passes out to Nicky Scrafton, who's got space. Ailsa Wiley close down just at the sideline there. That's good. That's quite good defending. Becky Ward's on the ball. She needs some options. She does well there. She turned out of trouble. That's very good skill. Linking with Nicky Scrafton.
Player over on the right, but she
trying
can't
to play the ball over to the right. Just hits the girl's foot. Scotland must be quite happy with this lead. They've got a lot of possession. They just need to maybe try and get a bit more outcomes higher up the pitch. So they're having a couple of shots.
Yeah, I just think they will probably want to be a little more incisive inside the 23, and in that final 5 yards outside the circle, when they're just not quite finding the right pass here. Gordon Shepherd's not looking too worried, is he, the Scotland coach?
No, he's not. So he's not. Just quite calm and composed. Just chatting to the subs at the moment. He's obviously getting his point across. Clear up, just tries to drive into the circle, just unable to continue into Nicky Scrafton. Nicky Scrafton driving out of the deep corner there, and then the Indian just knocks it over for sideline. So Scotland retain possession. Quick transfer there from Becky Ward. Nice touch down there from Nicky Kidd all the way down to Ali Bell again on the right hand side.
The one-on-one defending by India has been very good, though, isn't it? Generally speaking, when they've been faced against an opponent one-on-one, they've managed to get something in the way, either the stick or the body.
Yeah, you would expect that. Like India, Pakistan, Malaysia, they're all really, really good individually, both attacking and defending skills.
Yep.
So it'll be a challenge for the Scottish girls tonight to kind of break down the Indian defence and actually take advantage. They've had a couple of corners and they've had a couple of shots, so there's definitely opportunities for them. Scotland happy to just play the ball around the back, moving the Indians from side to side. Oh, Nicky Scrafton's got the ball. Keeper closes it down there.
Yeah,
I think it's a foot. I think
she may have come on for a substitute, but she's now made two crucial saves, and you'll see this one here. Long ball in, nice deflection. They've got on their own. Keeper comes out to meet, smothers it really well.
Well done, Scotland. Nicky Scrafton and Becky Ward double teaming there to try and win the ball. I'm sure that's like a tactical thing that Gordon Shepherd will be looking to try and kind of develop throughout this tournament towards the Commonwealth Games, trying to double team as much as you can, putting the players under as much pressure to try and win the ball. Nicky Kidd does really well, just dropping the ball back, just unable to connect with Ali Bell.
Just a slight change of the balance of play here. Scotland now starting to use the right-hand corner to attack, which they haven't been able to do in the first quarter of an hour, but that's where they've managed to put it, and they've created pressure here to get another turnover on this right-hand side.
Let's see what Scotland can do here. Lee Fawcett does quite well, but she's outnumbered. India come away with the ball. It's good work back from Nicky Kidd, and Lee Fawcett's there as well. It's good energy from Scottish girls. Well done.
But once again there, when the Indian midfield player broke, she only had one forward in front of her. Only one person in front of the ball. It makes it really difficult to get it out, providing the Scotland defenders do their one-to-one jobs. Yeah.
So Nicky Kidd just playing it back into the defence. So Katrina's got the ball. Katrina Ralph's got the ball. And now it's back to with Becky Merchant. Just keeping the kind of control of the game for a little bit. That's a lovely play there from Becky Ward. Under lots of pressure by two players. Evades them and makes the pass back to Becky Merchant. Lee Fawcett now driving down the right hand side. So again, she's under two players. She's under pressure, lots of pressure here. Scotland kind of need to help her. Nicky Scrafton's over her and she wins a free hit. Early pass to Emily Moir to Nikki Lloyd. Unable to get past the Indian defender just unable to get past the second, but she's umpire saying play on, so she's got the ball out to Katrina Rao. Went for the direct route into the circle, but the Indian girl was able to pick that ball up.
And India just taken a moment or two to take this hit out. I think they're actually trying to get a pause in the game just to slow it down, just recover a bit of composure, because they've been under a bit of pressure now for the last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think their defenders are a little bit kind of dead on their feet there, taking a wee breather. That's a nice ball in. Was that the wrong side of the stick? I think, yeah, it's deliberate wrong side of the stick. The girl tried to stop the ball. The ball was going all the way through to Sarah Robertson. And if that had gone through, it was a one-on-one. Here we come. Have a look at this again.
Yeah, and we'll see this cross come across, and the key thing here will be whether the defender played this deliberately with the back of her stick or whether that was accidental. You can see the Scottish player there absolutely claiming for a penalty stroke. We see it one more time. Well, very close.
Maybe not a penalty stroke, Lee. Maybe a corner at least. Okay, so we'll see how Scotland come up with this third. This is the third corner. Shot from Ralph. Morag McClellan with the rebound. Becky Merchant still has it. Reverse stick cross. Keeper makes a save, but she's kicked it straight onto her Indian teammate's foot. So now Scotland will have another chance. But let's look first at the actual shot corner. So there's a shot in.
Well, that's the first shot. Second Indian keeper up very well indeed. Scrabbles are the second one. She's a very agile keeper, and here we see the cross that would lead to the foot. Yep, comes back off the keeper and onto the Indian's foot. Pretty unlucky there.
Here we go. Just getting ready.
So the fourth Scotland corner.
Ralph again with a hit. Keeper makes a save, and the Indian defenders do well to just clear the pads for a sideline. So Indian player breaking, but there's no one in front of her. But she wins a free hit. That's a little bit high. Played in, looking pretty direct. And they've run to get into the half. They're looking to be quite direct into the circle as quickly as they can.
Yeah, but again, it was the same problem that you mentioned there, Mark. When she had the ball, she had nobody in front of her to pass it to. And they have to wait for someone to join them and then try and get it up there rapidly.
That was Debika driving forward there from right midfield after intercepting the aerial ball. Again, looking direct, looking to get the ball direct into the circle. Managed to do that with Poonam Irani picking up the ball and having a shot, with Amy Gibson dealing with that bit.
Yeah, a little lapse in concentration here. Actually, that's that one through and a mistrap. But very good work by Amy Gibson there to smother that one. She's off her line very quickly.
Nikki Lloyd driving into the 25, crossing the ball. Just unable to make that connection there with Linda Clement bearing down on goal.
Once again, you see the slow, deliberate taking of the 16.
Yeah, I think fitness-wise, especially the defenders, I think Scotland need to try and try and use this to the strength. Like Scotland's forward are all quite quick, quite dynamic, so if they can put pressure on them with the intensity of their running, they can definitely get advantage. They won a short corner there for just obstruction on Morag McClellan, or I think it's either Morag McClellan.
Yeah. Third party obstruction there, given sort of with some reluctance by the
yeah, so Morag McClellan
Chinese up round, and you'll see her
puts the ball around, unable to get to the ball.
Just cross it there.
Number 26, Sunita, is in the way. So this is Scotland's chance.
This leads to Scotland's fifth corner. The last two have been hit, which has been quite unusual. The keeper's been down for both of them, so maybe there's a time for an option here or to actually lift it above her in case she goes down again.
Well, Vicky Bunce is on the left stop, so she can flick. That was a hit again from Katrina Ralph, but this time I think the defender got a touch on it, just to force it wide. Pass from Susan McGilvery to Morag McClellan. Now down to Nikki Kidd, who's driving into the circle. Can she create? Nikki Kidd has a shot, and it's a great goal from Nikki Kidd. Well done. Scotland leading 1-0 here against India at Glasgow National Hockey Centre. That's a great. That's 6 minutes to go before half time. That's absolutely excellent. Excellent work, girls. Well done, Scotland. Here's a look at the replay. She drives in.
You see Nikki Lloyd jumping in here.
Ali Bell's in
really
there.
Good.
Ball drops. She first time hits it into the net. Well done. Scotland 1, India 0. Well done.
A good first save by the keeper. And she smothers that one, but it comes right out. And the first time volley on the near post off the defender's leg. A really good volley on as she was falling over there. Good reactions.
She's now picked up the ball. Nikki Kidd is driving. Another shot. Doesn't they come and score? No. Good save there by the keeper to be able to kick the ball back to the left-hand side. And India drive away, crossing the halfway line. But again, they're outnumbered again. They've only got like 1 or 2 players up front. So Scotland back in control of the ball. There's 5 minutes left before half time.
And they'll be you can see Gordon Shepherd there really telling his charges. I suspect this is all about concentration.
Yeah, he must be quite happy with that scoring at that time as well.
Yep. But you can see him here gesticulated to his players.
India, they're not taking the ball from the right spot. Like in the previous game, Ireland against Spain, that was penalised a couple of times and it was actually overturned.
Yep. So both the games we've seen today, the team that scored first has not actually won it. So there's a lot left in this one, that's for sure.
Let's hope Scotland can actually maybe change that for this game today. They're defending very resolute, with Ali Bell driving away with the ball. She's looking to play transfer. She does so through Katrina Ralph out towards Susan McGilvery, who opts to play it back to Katrina Ralph, who tries to link with Vicky Bunce, just unable to make that pickup. So it's good to see Scotland have a lot of numbers around the ball, especially in the midfield area, so when they do lose it, they can win it back straight away.
Yeah, I just think the Indian coach is going to have a word with his midfield, because they are neither doing one thing or the other, if you understand me.
Yeah.
They are neither getting up to join their attackers, and nor are they managing to hold Scotland midfield at bay. So they get a bit.
Ali Bell trying to take a quick free hit there, just again not from the right spot. So it's important that Scotland just get that back on the right spot before they take it. Otherwise, it can be turned over, and that could be a good chance gone. Nikki Kidd over the ball, self passes. But again, under pressure by 2 or 3 Indians, just outnumbered in the bottom corner there. Vicky Bunce gets a touch on that. I'm not sure if Becky Ward can get that.
Well, that was interesting again there, Mark. Even though they had the ball inside their own 23, there was still only one player in front of the ball for the outlet.
India tried to hit the aerial ball there, but it didn't really come off.
Nope.
Vicky Bunce picks it up 1-2 with Emily Maguire. Sets Sarah Robertson down the left-hand side. Plays the ball in. Ali Bell with a shot. Keeper makes a save. Can we get the rebound? Yes, and it's a goal! I'm actually unsure who scored that, if it was Emily Maguire or Ailsa Wiley. We'll have a look in the replay and see what we can see, but that's Scotland 2, India 0. Well done. Sarah puts the ball in.
See the cross coming across here. Shot. Keeper did her best there to tuck that away to one side, but the rebound fell to. Oh, in the end was.
I think Emily actually go to Emily Maguire. I think Ailsa Wiley actually just missed the ball.
Yeah. Emily Maguire tucked that in the end. for Scotland.
Well played, Scotland leading 2-0 here with 1 minute 40 to go.
For Scotland, scorer number 10, Sarah Robertson.
So just over a minute to go here. Scotland leading 2-1. Scotland have possession and deep in the Indian defence. Just unable to get any further than that. Like. Okay, Scotland winning the ball quite high up the pitch. Just unable to make a connection between Maguire and Ralph there. Shepherd shouting at his team to work back here. That's good work there from Sarah Robertson, just keeping the Indian player's head down, forcing them to go all the way back, which allowing Scotland to have all 10 players behind the ball. Good pressure from Ailsa Wiley.
Coming into the last 30 seconds here, Scotland will just want to hold on the ball, I think.
Becky Ward does well there to take it away from the danger area and win a free hit. Well played, yeah. Becky Ward.
Just want to play this half out now with only 14 seconds left on the clock.
She just couldn't catch her skip there, but okay, so that's the end of the first half. So India 0, Scotland 2 here. So really good game for Scotland. Really good start to this game today. Nikki Lloyd got the first goal, and we're unsure if Sarah Robertson got it or Emily Maguire, but we'll get back to you and confirm that as soon as we can. So, Lee, that's a really good first half there. What are you thinking, the way the girls will come out in the second half?
Well, I just think that India will need to change the game if they're going to come back and win this, because their midfield just either can't get the ball forward because there's no one in front of them, nor are they actually smothering the Scotland attack. So unless they sort that, this game could run away from them fairly quickly, I think.
Yeah, I think the Indian defenders are not the fittest, so I think if Scotland can use that and maybe if the team's a bit stretched, they can use that to advantage and create more space and more opportunities.
Yeah.
So, at the Glasgow National Hockey Centre, India 0, Scotland 2. Thank you.
The best of Scotland is right on your doorstep this year. Hundreds of events are taking place across Scotland to celebrate Homecoming 2014. So you won't have to travel far to find them. Homecoming 2014, a year of brilliant moments right on your doorstep.
The buzz is just unbelievable just now. It's back in my hometown in Trin, everybody's talking about it, and just hopefully I can be part of that Scotland team, and if I am, it will be a memory I'll never forget.
Since joining Scottish Gymnastics, to compete at the Commonwealth Games, it's going to be my first Commonwealth Games, and no better place to do it than in our home country.
Commonwealth Games are really the only time you get to represent Scotland on its own, and yeah, it's really special. It's like your own little family really when you're on the team. Go Scotland!
Do you know what? I don't think there'll be anything to beat it. You know, I competed at the London Olympics and that was really special, but Glasgow I think will just be something else. Go Scotland!
It's very important to have the backing of the community, your country and that. I'd like folk to get behind you and enjoy what you're doing and appreciate what you're doing. That's what I hard work's for. Go Team Scotland!
I think it's really important that people back Team Scotland. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to come together and support the team.
There's obviously going to be a great buzz around the city, and we're really looking forward to having the spectators come out and see netball. Netball's not one of the most profile sports that we've got here, so we're really looking forward to seeing how we can really engage with the spectators and show what netball's all about. Go Scotland!
Oh, the support will be huge. If everyone turns up, it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's nothing better than playing on a badminton court with the whole crowd sweltering behind you. It's a really great feeling, and I really hope to experience it.
Being from Glasgow myself, nothing more that you want to do in your career. Homegrown, in your city, all your friends, family can all come and watch. There's nothing really more you want. Go Scotland!
Being in judo, it's an individual sport, but when you're in that fight and if you're down the score, if you just need that extra lift. With Glasgow 2014 coming up and the massive Scottish team that we're going to have in Glasgow, it feels like a family. Go Scotland!
It's a huge honour and it's a pinnacle of anyone's career. I was fortunate enough to play back in Melbourne a few years ago now, where the whole experience was incredible. I'm sure that Glasgow can look to emulate that.
The atmosphere in Delhi was great, even when we're halfway across the world. So to imagine what it's going to be like in Glasgow when we're in front of a home crowd, it's going to be twice as good. Go Scotland!
This will be my first games and it'll be a home game, so for me it's, as much as it's a cliche, it will be a dream come true, and just to have that support and to have my family and friends support me at home games, it means everything to me.
Go Scotland!
So welcome back to the International Hockey Centre here in Glasgow, where the half-time score in this Women's Champions Challenge match is India 0, Scotland 2 goals from Nikki Kidd and Ailsa Wiley in the first half, giving Scotland the lead. Today's match, of course, is part of over a week of matches in this Women's Champions Challenge. And we can have a look at the matches that we have in store for you. Still another game remaining on this late April evening, a rather brisk evening in Glasgow. That's the Belgium-Korea match coming up a little bit later on at 9 o'clock. Earlier today, of course, we saw South Africa come back from 1-0 down against the United States to win 2-1. And for the second time in Pool B in this Champions Challenge, Ireland came from behind to secure a 2-2 draw. Spain 2-0 up in that game at halftime. A really lot of fight, a lot of pluck from the Irish team in the second half, and no shortage of skill as well, drew them level at 2-2. This coverage is brought to you by Scottish Hockey and their event partners Glasgow Life, Events Scotland, NCS, Ginger Grouse, Hero and the Government of Argentina. And we're grateful for their support in bringing you this fantastic event live and exclusive on FIH TV. And we want you to be part of today's coverage as well by tweeting us. So wherever you are in the world, we want to hear from you. Tweet us at FIH_hockey. Hashtag CC1, as you can see now on your screen, and we'll do our best to read out the best of your comments throughout the coverage, not just today, but over the course of the next few days as well. Mark Ralph and Lee Cousins are still here in the commentary box, and delighted to bring them back into the conversation now, just to look back over a first half that was full of enterprise from the Scotland team, Lee. They really came out the blocks flying and pushed India back and into their own D right from the outset.
Yes, I think that's right. They were pretty sharp off the blocks. They were assisted, I think, by India, who played very deep. Only played one player, maybe two players up occasionally, and were relying on a fast break, which they just couldn't achieve, which actually allowed Scotland to get some dominance over the game. Played it mostly down the left-hand side to start with. Didn't find that corner very productive. Managed to switch the play and attack down the right, which proved far more, and that indeed was where the second goal came from.
And Mark, the they made good use of space, Scotland, in that first half. They found a lot of space down those flanks, and as Lee suggested, they just prodded and probed and just waited until they could find the gaps and changed when that wasn't working for them, and they got the reward for that in the end.
Yeah, they played the ball like a lot of the half-backs were playing the ball down the sides, especially down the right-hand side towards the end of the first half, with Ali Bell and Ailsa Wiley picking the ball up and driving into 25. And that's where we got a lone corner, and we were able to get the ball into the D for Nicky Kidd to then score. So that's a really good start. So right now, actually, they're just running out onto the pitch to do a little huddle, if you can see on the screen there.
The obligatory huddle as the Indian team also take the field for the second half. Just before the half begins, so let's take a look at the goals. Mark, talk us through the first goal here.
Okay, Nicky Kidd drives into the circle and looks to try and link with Linda Clement. Ali Bell have a shot, keeper makes a save, and the ball's bobbling about, and Nicky Kidd comes in and hits it. Ball's bouncing about, she just hits it towards goal, and I think it comes off the Indian defender and goes high into the net. Yeah, so she hits it quite low, it comes off a girl's foot and goes into the net from that view. So
and then the second goal, of course, a lot of build-up play and a bit of a scramble. Goalkeeper again, as she has done throughout this first half, making a couple of good saves. We've wrongly accredited this goal to Ailsa Wiley. What was your take on it, Lee?
Yeah, that just the last touch there, played by.
I think Emily Maguire. The Scotland team are crediting it to Emily Maguire at the moment.
Okay,
yeah, there was a bit of a...
Obviously, Ailsa Wiley didn't get the final touch that we thought was the case.
There we see it again. So second half is underway here at the International Hockey Centre in Glasgow Green. India going from right to left, Scotland in the opposite direction. Can Scotland hold on to this lead to secure their first win of the Champions Challenge? We'll find out over the next 35 minutes, and talking you through it, Lee Cousins in first, Mark Ralph.
Okay, Lee Fawcett on the ball, looking to hit the ball down the line, and Nikki Lloyd's done really well beating the ball. Oh, she's just won a free hit. Or the umpire said play on, so she's under pressure now. Dribbling to space. She needs a bit more help. Oh, she does really well there, winning a free hit. Oh, the umpire's giving it against her. So India now have free hit. They can just kind of calm the storm. So Scotland starting really pushing the ball, pushing forward here, Lee. So Sarah Robertson's like 7 yards away from the ball.
Yeah, they're playing 3 at the back, marking 3 in midfield and pressing with 4, which is a different from the first half when they pressed with 3 and put 4 in midfield. So a slight change there.
Yeah, well, it seems to be working. Like they're keeping the ball in front of them, forcing India to do long balls, and you'd be hoping that your defenders or your midfielders can maybe intercept these long passes. Good work from Susan McGilvery. Just thinking the ball over the Indian player onto Morag McClellan, who wins a free hit in the middle of the park. So Becky Merchant round to Lee Fawcett, who back to Becky Merchant with some pressure on her. Does well, links with Nikki Scraston, just unable to retain possession there, put under pressure by Rita Rani. So India win the free hit and allow their the defence to step up. Against Scotland, holding strong. Morag McClellan competing for midfield for the ball there. There's a loose ball. Just unable to win that ball there. So India have the ball down the bottom left-hand corner. Lee Fawcett keeping a close eye there. So it's a free hit. Plays the ball back out. And it's coming all the way back to one of the deepest defenders. Now all the way back out to the deep defender, Lee. So Scotland working really hard here defensively. You see the forwards just shuttling back and forward.
Yeah, I think this is interesting because India have certainly changed their game since the first half. I mean, they've now got At this point in time, they've got 8-9 players in front of the ball, which in the first half you just didn't see. So they've shifted their midfield players a good 10 metres up the park, if not 20.
Yeah, and they're playing with a little bit more intensity just about their game. Like they're picking the ball up on the move, diving forward, crossing the ball in there. Amy Gibson dealing with that. Scotland winning a free hit, but the umpire electing to play on with Nikki Kidd. Linda Clement and Emily Maguire just unable to connect there. So it's really important that Scotland keep the intensity up and the volume up in this like first 5-10 minutes of this second half, just to kind of weather the storm a bit of the Indians at the moment.
I rather suspect they're going to have to weather a bit of pressure while they adjust to the completely different pattern of play that India have come out with here in the second half. And there's India winning the ball in the midfield for maybe almost the first time of the game.
Yeah, just it did fall to Vicky Bunter, just unable to win it back. I think it came off her foot. So India have the ball in the middle of the midfield. Again, looking direct towards the circle. I think it's Katrina Ralph on the foot there. She'll feel that.
Yeah,
Scotland win the free hit there.
A little foot by the Indian forward there, given by the Dutch umpire at the other end. Obviously had a better position to see that.
Look at this, we've got 5 or 6. This is just like the first half where India came out quite strong. Long ball, reverse stick down the line, all the way to Linda Clement. Can other forward support? Ball in, can we get a deflection? Oh, we win a corner. Sarah Robertson does really, really well, and Scotland win their first corner of the second half after just under 6 minutes gone.
A very soft corner there, really. I'm not sure that she was ever getting the ball, and you'll see it here. Good cross by Linda Clement, as she sees it, and a little nudge there by the Indian defender. Maybe not required.
There's a really good run from Sarah Robertson just to get in front of the last defender.
Yep.
And really put pressure on the defender to do something. And it means that Sarah can get to the ball first.
Scotland's 6th corner, first and second half. It'll be interesting to see if they lift it, because the keeper's been going down very, very quickly.
Yes! What a goal! Becky Bunce, back post deflection off a Nikki Kidd drag flick. That's an excellent routine there. Well done, Gordon Shepherd and the coaching staff for thinking that one up. Well done. So Scotland lead here after 6 minutes of the second half. Scotland 3, India 0. Come on, Scotland, well done.
Well, Mark, that's the alternative to way to be the keeper that's lying down. Instead of going over, you go round her. And this is exactly what happens here. They play the ball wide, and there's Vicky Bunce on her knees to put it home.
That's an excellent routine. Hours have probably done that for hours in the training ground. So Scotland 3, India 0. Lee Fawcett just dribbling herself out of pressure there. Using Katrina Ralph down the right hand side. Good support running from Nikki Scraston, just unable to connect that.
Well, this should test the mettle of the Indians here. We're going to find out what their temperament's like in terms of their ability to lift their game.
That was good work there from Ali Bell, just jumping back to try and help Nikki Scraston try and win the ball. So she does it again as well. There's Linda doing it, working really, really hard. Scotland forwards. It's back to help the midfielders when the ball jumps good behind them. It's India with the early ball in, looking for deflection. Good save from Amy Gibson, but the Indian midfielder was able first to collect and then had a shot from top D, just putting it wide.
And once again, and you'll see this coming here. Good first save, comes back to the top of the circle, and then she can't quite pull the trigger and pulls it wide. The most interesting thing about that attack, of course, was that was the first time the Indian right back has actually crossed our 23 carrying the ball. Completely different version of attack than we see in the first half.
Okay, Scotland have the ball here from Susan McGilvery round to Becky Merchant. And so Aileen Davis looking forward, looking to try and connect with Ali Bell. I think Gordon Shepherd was appealing for 5 metres there. And she's just up, I think she's just upgraded it for not being 5 metres from the corner. Down on the sideline, Shepherd in deep discussion with Becky Merchant about the next corner. They'll have a call. Do you think they'll go back to the same corner, Lee, or do you think they'll maybe try something different?
Well, it's interesting now. I think once you get 3-0 up and you have a certain number of corners you have available to you in the tournament, and whether you want to use all your options before you get into the crossover games is a big issue. So I think there's quite a likelihood that they will repeat a corner that we've already seen. But once again, it'll be trying to beat this keeper who went down again at the last goal.
Oh, we'll soon find out, won't we? It looked like they tried the same one again, didn't they? But Vicky Bunce just wasn't able to make that connection. Good call there, Lee.
Yep.
That ball wasn't stopped. Scotland players are a bit annoyed about that because the ball wasn't stopped as Shigeru drove forward. If you're having a look at this track,
and you'll see the corner here again, and she goes wide once more. Not quite as wide as last time, making it a much more difficult touch for Vicky Bunce there.
Yeah, well defended by number 32, Manja there. Just kind of keeping an eye on Vicky Bunce as she came in and just blocking her out of the way. Just to allow the defender just to actually get that, to allow it to go past the post. So India in possession of the ball down to the right-hand side. Scotland working really hard, forcing them back. Nikki Lloyd in front of the ball, forcing them to transfer around to the middle. Okay, they're playing the ball forward. Really good pick up by Yolanda, but forced back by Aileen Davis.
Yeah, lifted ball in, but once again, that's India using their right back to penetrate the 23. That's the second time we've seen that in a few minutes.
Yeah, she's
this is
more involved in the play now.
Yeah, definite change of tactics by India here.
I think their coach Neil Hoggett obviously had a few stern words to say to them at the half-time. Nikki Kidd just playing the ball all the way back to Becky Merchant, out of trouble, out of pressure. So let's round around to Becky Ward, who links with Katrina Ralph, just a 1-2.
And you can see the effect that this has had on the game now with the whole of the Indian midfield across the halfway line. And there's a huge gap between the halfway line and India's 23, with actually nobody in it at all because of the press that India have put on.
If you look up the back, though, like the Scotland forwards are marked man-to-man.
Absolutely.
There's no free defenders. So if Scotland can get the ball forward, they're basically man-to-man against them, half-pitch, 3v3.
Yep. But it's interesting, watch this huge gap, and if you can't see it on your screen, but here it is again. There is absolutely no one between the halfway line and the Indian 23. So they've worked it down, and they've gone exactly what you said from Mark, the one-on-one with the forwards.
Oh, that was a great pass there from Linda Clement, just unable to get all the way through to Katrina Ralph, who would have been in top D had that ball come. But that was a nice pass there from, I think it was Emily Guire out to Nikki Kidd on the left, and then all the way down to Linda Clement. Scotland just need to kind of do that a little bit more, and then hopefully weather the storm from India, and then they can turn this possession potentially into another goal. So Nikki Scraston picks the ball up the halfway line, driving forward. She links with Ali Bell. Bell does a really good turn. She's down on the baseline. Plays it back.
Yeah, lifted by the Scottish forward there into the Indian defender. But once again, Scotland managing to get a midfield player into that space we were talking about and release her with the ball. This is quite a risky, quite a risky tactic that India have gone for here. But I suppose it's inevitable when you're 3-0 down.
Yeah, Nikki Scraston did really well when she picked up the ball on the sideline. She drove forward 5-6 yards and then made a kind of 20-yard pass. But then as soon as she passed that ball, she was on supporting her runner. Scotland under a bit of pressure here. Nikki Kidd making, Amy Gibson making the save on the goal line there. I think Scotland were appealing for maybe a third man, and just as soon as she fell past.
Scotland we were fortunate to get India penalised for using an elbow. Quite lucky, really.
Lee Fawcett under a lot of pressure here, down in the bottom right-hand corner, under two players on her. She manages to win a free hit. She looks forward. She plays it down. Ali Bell just missing that pickup with Sarah Robertson actually running on the same line, but 15, 20 yards further down the pitch. So Scotland doing well. Look at that. 3 players around the ball, winning the ball. And then they've got space to run into if they can try and use this. Just Ali Bell doing well to win the ball back there. Just a poor turnover from India. Nikki Scraston all the way back to Lee Fawcett, just keeping the ball, making the Indians work a little bit harder for the ball. Meanwhile, Scotland can have a bit more composure about them. Nice ball there from Becky Ward all the way down to Ailsa Wiley. The umpire gives a free hit against her. Good recovery there from Katrina Ralph, playing it back to Eileen Davis. Again, Scotland doing well to win the ball back quite early and kind of stifle the attacks from the Indians.
Scotland are going to have to do a lot of midfield running, I think, now, because the Indian midfield, is, as I said, is playing 20 metres higher, and they need to keep a grip, and this is where it'll come.
If they can get the ball to Nikki Scraston, which Emily Maguire, that's a great pass. If she can do that, that's a lovely pass as well. Diagonal ball from Nikki Scraston. Oh, Sarah Robertson gets a deflection. Keeper's got, it's under the keeper, I think. It could be a corner. Yes, it's a corner. That's a lovely pass from Emily Maguire first, out to Nikki Scraston on the right-hand side. But then Nikki Scraston looks up, pinpoint pass all the way up to Nikki Kidd on the left wing position. That pass must be over, what, 50, 60 yards?
Yeah, that's the way to break defences down, of course. So when you play these passes, you can see here the goalkeeper almost sat on it the first time, played back into her, and definitely sits on it the second time, and covers it with her hand.
Second time.
Yeah. Giving the umpire no option there but to order the corner.
Okay, so Bunce isn't on this time for a deflection. So Nikki Kidd goes direct off the post this time. Sarah Robertson picks up the rebound. Just unable to. India try a quick 16, but just they can't. And it's straight back on them. Emma Maguire got the ball.
And here's the corner
forward.
here, as it's injected now. And there's Bradflick here, just right off the left-hand post. Very unlucky, inch either way.
India on the break here. Lots of Scotland girls working their way back, getting behind the ball. Good work there from Sarah Robertson getting back. India, as soon as they win the free hit in and around the halfway line, they look to try and get it direct into the circle. So it's really important that the defenders of Scotland are alert for these long balls direct into the goal. Parking the bus. Right, there's no one in front of Ali Bell there, so she's just all by herself. She links with Emma Maguire. So India passing to the D, but Emily Maguire does really well just to win the ball. Plays it back to Aileen Davis in the bottom corner. Under two or three Indians looking to try and win the ball back over. And they do so. But they can't get any further, and it's out for a 16-yard hit.
And that attack came again because India managed to turn the ball over in midfield, which again we just didn't see in the first half at all.
Yeah, they did that really well, and then as soon as they do that, they try and break it with speed. So the ball right to Becky Merchant at right back here. She's looking forward, just unable to get past the first defender. Lee Fawcett closing her down with Becky Merchant trying to double team. That's good work ethic there between the girls at the back. Becky Merchant can't tackle because she's not 5 meters. So the Indian attacker is actually just almost running straight at Becky Merchant to make a tackle.
Yeah. I would think the Scotland coach now would be looking for a spell of possession by his team so that they can just calm this game down.
I see a different goalkeeper is coming. Yogita, number 12, is coming in. So another change for the goalkeepers.
This is the same change they made in the first half, and about the same time. They did it at 17 minutes. So effectively, the two Indian goalkeepers have played half of a half each, if you understand me.
I think the Indian team are playing the quarter game. 17.5 minutes, making rotations. Kapika got the ball. Again, looking direct in towards the circle. Just deflection off Nicky Lloyd's stick. Nicky Lloyd, first defender right in front of the ball. It's a hard task.
Yeah, Dutch umpire's taking this back to where the ball was lifted rather than where it came down.
That's good, closing down there from Nicky Lloyd. Putting her body on the line, hits off her stick. Pick up Becky Merchant under pressure straight away from two Indian players. Looks to try and find Morag McClellan. The Indians win a free hit just outside the halfway line, the 25. Winning it back, linking with Sarah Robertson, but there's no one in front of Sarah Robertson, so she's carrying the ball down. Really good 3D skills. Into 25. Oh, she could pass it. Can Linda Clement turn and get a shot off? It's good defending there. Nicky Lloyd and Linda Clement in the circle. Almost just not in the same wavelength there. Like the ball's behind Linda Clement.
Yeah, just a real opportunity lost there. There was 2 on 0 or 2 on the keeper. It just needed a quality pass and it would have been a tap in.
I have to take you back to the really good 3D running down the left-hand side from Sarah Robertson. Nothing in front of her, so she decides to go down the line. Carries the ball 30-40
and here you can see Linda Clement just can't control the ball enough and cleared by the Indian defenders. Not helped by the quality of the pass into her.
Oh.
And this is going to be a card here.
It's a 2-minute green card.
For deliberate obstruction.
To Katarina Vandana. Fawcett happy to just pass the ball back to Merchant. India with a player less, so this is going to be a big test on their fitness. If Scotland can use it wisely and get them kind of chasing the ball a little bit, moving, if they can play high transfers, which they're doing at the moment, playing in and out via Vicky Bunce, down to Aileen Davis. Oh, it's a big stick tackle. So Scotland winning a free hit there, just at the dotted line.
Quite important to control the ball here when you have the extra player rather than just play it. You can take some patience here.
So Sarah Robertson, first time deflection into the circle. Linda Clement just not able to get hold of that pass, but Lee Fawcett does well to pick up the rebound. And it's played down to Susan McGilvery. Looks to play it direct into the circle. Just Indian defender just picks that off. India with a player less are still playing at quite a high tempo when they look to go forward, aren't they? They're not kind of holding it from back.
This is when, of course, when you are a player less, when carrying the ball is the way to kill the time sometimes, rather than pass it around. Scotland still need to be patient, even though you're a player up. It's a question of making that player count.
Yeah, you need to move the ball on, and they're doing it at the moment.
There she is,
they can
right
pass
on the
all the way
corner.
down. That's Ali Bell. Crossing the ball in. Dive from Linda Clement. Just unable to deflect it onto goal. So straight away, first pass, closing them down. The girls under pressure by Ali Bell in the circle. Just opposite bunt it out. Just passing the buck over there to a right defender. Nicky Lloyd putting pressure on, and Nikki Scrasson's able to win it. Can Morag McClellan drive forward? She's got Vicky Bunce to her right. Players coming on, so she might be able to slows her down. So Scotland win the free hit. Good individual skill there from Vicky Bunce, realising the player was coming, just trying to kind of V-drag it over to the right.
Nowhere to go, just took the free hit.
Lee Fawcett out to Becky Merchant. Just transferring the play here. Getting these Indians to try and just chase the ball a little bit. I would put a bit of pressure on their fitness. Good position taken up there by Nicky Lloyd. She's got the ball in the 25. Links with Morag. Unable to pick the pass up there. Susan McGilvery wins the ball back though. It's good defending there by the Indian player just outside the circle. Again, 1v1. If you go too close,
1v1 as we talked about.
They'll just take the ball off you, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but now they've stepped back again. When they brought that ball out again there was only one forward in front of the ball. So it's interesting that maybe they can't hold that high tempo when they flooded the midfield, which they did for the first 20 minutes of this game, or this half. But
yeah,
maybe they haven't been able to cope with it.
Lovely
with
pass
a physical
there.
necessity to do that, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting there, but lovely pass from Susan McGilvery down the line. First time pass down the line to Nikki Kidd, who was positioned high and wide. So Scotland are getting really good possession in and around the circle. But the final pass, they just need to make sure a little bit more care on the final pass. Once it goes into the circle, they just need to make that connection. And I think if they can do that, they can pick up the ball, there's a little bit of space, and then we can have you can have a goal shot. Or worst case, looking to win a corner.
Yeah, I think we may be in a slightly different phase of the game here, because once this looks much more like the first half when India were actually defending deep.
Vicky Bunce did really well there, twisting and turning, got the ball in, but Nikki Lloyd was just unable to kind of get the ball under control and have a goal shot. I'm unsure if it came off a foot. Under this ominous looking Glasgow sky, under the full floodlights at Glasgow Green. This must be one of the first times it's been a full floodlight.
Yeah, indeed it is. Very powerful floodlights that were designed for the Commonwealth Games and the television coverage that will come for that.
So reverse stick cross there, lifted, so given against the Indian attacker. So Lee Fawcett is able to kind of get control of the ball at the 16. Looks to play forward to Vicky Bunce, but she's under straight away two Indian players, but does well to win a free hit. And then self passes, so they can't tackle her. So she does really, really well there. And then transfers to Becky Ward. Play on. Just catches Becky's foot. So the Indians now have the ball. They're looking to go forward. Again, they'll back themselves going forward here. Even when outnumbered, they'll look to still go forward, won't they, Lee?
Yeah, and that was interesting because when Becky Ward unfortunately kicked that ball, the whole of the Scottish midfield had gone forward with her, and they exposed themselves, which is interesting considering they're already 3-0 up.
Scotland were on the break there. It was good play on the break there from Ali Bell out to Emily Maguire, who then transferred it all the way over to Nikki Kidd, who's just unable to kind of penetrate into the circle. So it's good defending there eventually by the Indian. So Emily Maguire on the ball at the moment, looking forward. Firm pass forward, just intercepted just outside the D. Vicky Bunce picks up the loose ball, plays the pass with Linda Clement, back to Bunce.
And I think
Ralph doing well, closing them down, forcing them all the way back.
The Indian midfield are tiring here. You don't see them coming forward with the same numbers that they were early in the first half, early in the second half rather.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with you there, Lee. Lee Fawcett going for the interception there. Just getting a touch, just unable to kind of carry the ball forward. So sideline hit, we'll take that. Allow Scotland to get back. Do some defending. Ali Bell coming on, winning the ball. The umpire giving it against Ali Bell, actually. So De Beek has got the ball, looking for a big diagonal. Nikki Kidd just ushers that ball out there. Just having a little look to make sure it's safe to do so. Ushers the ball out. By Scotland a couple of seconds just to get a wee breather. But India, look at that, the press. They're stepping right up.
Yeah, pressing with 7 players there against 4 Scottish defenders. So
Becky Ward does well to. That's very good from Becky Ward. Just under pressure, taking it away from the Rogan goal up the halfway line. Winning a sideline hit, which Nikki Kidd throws an aerial to try and link with Sarah Robertson, just unable to connect. So this could be very interesting, like going further along towards the end of the summer, even Scotland could meet India in the Commonwealth Games.
Yep, they could.
I think
and
Scotland
I think
played
it will be a statement of intent, which Scotland will be quite intent to make. Kicked the ball on the way in there, but stick tackle on the way in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they played them in Delhi 4 years ago. I think India won 2-1. So I'm sure Scotland will be keen to turn that around in Glasgow in late July, early August.
But a relatively young Indian side that you would expect would have time to mature in the next 2 or 3 months before the games comes on, though.
Yeah, you would hope so, because obviously they're starting their training now for it. Scotland needs to just try and get the ball out from a congested area, out and round, and whether that means going all the way back around the deep defender, or if you can transfer through midfield, that would really put pressure on the Indians to kind of like shuffle across. And if you can get the ball out and round early, it would put a lot of pressure on them.
And Scotland have gone man-to-man in defence here across the whole field, both in defence and in midfield.
Katrina Ralph's got the ball, under two people, under pressure, finds Becky Merchant, who's got the ball in the middle of defence. Links with Aileen Davis. Into Emily Maguire, and again under two. As soon as you play that ball in the midfield, that's a great play. Nikki Scraston driving forward. She does well to recover and get the ball, and she wins the penalty corner for her team. She's quite lucky there. She lost the ball at first and then able to win it back, so she's pretty pleased with that.
She lost the ball there. In fact, she was very lucky that she got a stick tackle there. And once again, it was just that last pass that was between the 5-hard Mashak and the circle that causes it.
Here we have a look at it. So she picks the ball back up.
Here you'll see, goes for it there, gets around, and then has a stick taken right there, and that causes the umpire's decision. Just overstretching there, Namita. Quite a soft penalty, really.
Penalty corner. Okay. Ralph with a straight hit. I think I hit the number 1 runner's foot.
Yep.
She'll do that in the morning.
Namita Topher, she's given by the umpire on the halfway line, who had a much better view of that.
Yeah, I think it came off her shin pad. So it was off the ground, but it's going to hurt in the morning. Ralph again with a shot, but Becky Ward is there to pick up the rebound, slam the ball home. Scotland 4, India 0. It's a great goal from Becky Ward, just picking up a scrap, putting it in after Katrina Ralph would strike at top D. Well done Scotland. Here's a look at the replay here. So Ralph takes a shot.
Scotland persisting with his long first strike, and this time she gets a rebound off the keeper and squeezes it in at the near post.
I think Becky Ward's really happy with that one. So she should be. Sarah Robertson's in the D, unable to turn and get a shot off. Maguire just unable to collect that bounce, the pass from Nikki Scraston. Scotland actually doing in midfield, doing really well to kind of force India either back or sideways, rather than allowing them to have the straight ball into the circle from like the halfway line. You know, India are quite direct that way, Lee, aren't they?
Yeah. Another long early break here by Scotland.
Just unable to make that connection between Ailsa Wiley and Nikki Lloyd. Really good play on down the left-hand side to get the ball up as far as that and then across into the circle. Looking for a small scoop. Morag McClellan can take the ball forward, drive forward. You've got a player higher up the pitch. She drives in field. Ralph tidies up, plays it back to Morag on the right-hand side. With Sarah Robertson making a long bust and down on the baseline. So there's a goal. There's a shot there. Sarah Robertson diving shot. It must have hit the defender's foot on the line, but the defender must have got a touch and maybe going wide and hit off her foot. So that's why it's not a penalty stroke.
Yeah, and you'll see it here. Goalkeeper goes down, tries to get a lift over. Goalkeeper gets another piece of it. A really good effort.
The defender on the line clears the ball off her teammate's foot, and that's why it's a corner.
Really good effort by Sarah Robertson to force that corner.
Off number 17, Depikta.
Scotland persisting with this technique of hitting their short corners. This time the keeper once again down, makes a good save.
Although hitting the ball at a corner is actually quite a good idea, because then you're not really giving anything away for any of the other teams, and it's allowing your other strikers who are in the D around the goalkeeper to get into really good positions, which you saw Becky Ward pick a little pick up and go. Some of the Indian players look a little bit dead on their feet there, Lee. They're like struggling to really...
And you can see here that Gordon Shepherd, the Scottish coach, absolutely urging his team on to finish this.
Nice pass there from Lee Fawcett, just spots Susan McGilvery out on the left-hand side. She's under pressure, just finds a gap, just plays it all the way through to her. Scotland working really hard in the last minute here to just try and win the ball back. India win a free hit just at the halfway line. They'll probably be looking direct into the circle here. Good skills there from the Indian midfielder, just trying to dribble forward. Okay, India there, looking for the direct shot into the circle and looking for deflection, but just unable to direct it onto Gibson's goal. Gibson keeping a clean sheet. So well done. India 0, Scotland 4. It's a really good performance there, Lee, wasn't it? Really good performance. Second game of the turn for Shepherd's men. Yesterday, unable to get.
As we said, I think at the beginning, this will be the game that both coaches probably targeted to win, and so it's quite a momentum shift, I think, for Scotland to get this game over India. And as we said before, it might reflect on the Commonwealth Games in the months to come.
Yeah, I think,
but a very relaxed and happy-looking Scotland team.
The performance yesterday for Scotland against Belgium was really, really good. Just unable to get the draw in the end. But they did have chances, whereas this one, they're a little bit more clinical. They scored 2 corners and a couple of open play games. So Lee, who are you going to vote for man of the match?
Let's go down to an interview now with a player of the match, Vicky Bunce.
Okay, down to you.
Vicky, unfortunately I don't have any champagne, but you've been nominated as Woman of the Match.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. Delighted.
Tell me, that was a fantastic performance.
Yeah, we're absolutely delighted with that. I mean, we've been working really hard in training, and when we come out and put in a performance like that on the back of a good performance yesterday, we're delighted.
I mean, yesterday was good, but today was terrific.
I think yesterday was good, but we just didn't quite finish it off, whereas today we scored 4 goals, so that's what makes a difference in the end about winning and losing.
I mean, almost whatever else happens, that's been a great result, and that's a great fillip for going forward, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's what this is about. It's about good performances, building on one performance to the next, and that's what we'll do on Wednesday night as well. We'll look to build on that today.
I mean, India would be one of the stronger teams of the Commonwealth Games, so to put 4 goals past them is quite incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a boost, but the Commonwealth Games is another tournament, and on any given day, any team can come out and do a job. We're just focusing on here and now, one game at a time, and looking, obviously we are building for the Commonwealth Games, but this is its own tournament, and we're taking this seriously.
Listen, I don't want to stop you from having fun with the rest of your team.
Thanks very much. Thank you, see you later.
So full time here at the International Hockey Centre in Glasgow. It has finished. India 0, Scotland 4. A fantastic result for the hosts who chalk up their first win of the tournament, backed by some riotous supporters here in Glasgow who very much enjoyed the sight of seeing their women win. And Mark and Lee, if we thought Scotland's first half performance was excellent, they went on and showed in the second half that it wasn't a flash in the pan. They could maintain it over the course of the entire match.
No, I think that's a credit to their fitness, and it's also a credit to their midfield. Although you could argue that Scotland won the game on the short corners they converted, it was the fact that the Scottish midfield outplayed the Indian one in both directions, in both attack and defence, actually made the win possible, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Scotland, just the midfield, got the ball under a lot of pressure, able to play the ball out and round to evade the Indian pressure, and that opened up loads of space down in both flanks for the wide midfielders or the wide forwards to get the ball travelling forward at speed. Okay, they've been doing 4 weeks of full-time training, and it's paying off at the moment, and you've got another 3 months to go with this before the Commonwealth Games, so it's really, really good. But as Vicky Bunn said, they're focusing on the now. This is a own tournament, so they're focusing on this tournament, giving it its own merit, and they're just working day by day, working forward. So they've got a rest day tomorrow, and then they play Korea on Wednesday 2 p.m. I think it is, here at Glasgow National Stadium.
And it'll be interesting to see now, Mark, how they approach the game with Korea, which is their final pool game, who are probably, one would argue, probably the strongest side here. And it's always an interesting thing when you're in pools and you're going for crossovers, just how much effort you put into your final pool game, when actually the crossover games mean much more to you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shepherd and the coaching staff and all the players down there in the Scotland team, they put every game that they step onto, they want to go out and put in a great performance and get the result. So by thinking, I'm going to go half-hearted in this game, that's not going to happen. Not with Shepherd there. Okay, they'll go out because they'll do it for their girls to try and win each and every game on its own merit.
You can see on the screens there, Mark, in front of you, just how much it means to them and how much it means to their supporters. They come into this tournament as the lowest ranked of the women's teams, but they've demonstrated over the course of 2 matches that they can really cut it with some fairly impressive opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. And they cut it last year in the A Division Europeans, with top teams, getting unlucky not to get a draw with Germany back then, and they're just continuing it on this year. So that's excellent. It's great for the development of this squad.
Let's just take a look at all 4 goals. I think we can revel in them and be as impartial as possible, but from a Scottish perspective, I think it's worth looking at all 4, because for me, having watched both days of this tournament, that is the most complete performance that we've probably seen from any of the women's teams. So Lee, the first goal in the first half, let's just take a look at it again.
Yep, and that's Nikki Kidd into the circle, creates the save, and you'll see her now absolutely off balance, gets a volley in, comes just off the defender's foot, probably going in anyway. A really good strike, very athletic, a touch of real athleticism.
And then there was Emily Maguire's goal, which at the time we credited to Ailsa Wiley. We thought she'd got the final touch.
Well, we thought that she got the final touches. This ball comes across, Emily plays it in, and then you can see it rise there. We all thought Ailsa got a touch there. She claimed it, but obviously it was actually Emma Maguire's. And I think some honesty went on it at half-time to credit it to the right lady.
Yes, I think it possibly did. And then, of course, just after half-time, best possible start in the second half. Third goal for Scotland, this time from the short corner.
Yeah, they worked some very good variations from the short corners. The Indian keeper has a habit of logging or going down, as we talked about, and we said you either go over it or you go round her, and there's Nikki Bunce doing exactly that. Switch to the right hand side, on her knees and in. They tried that corner actually immediately afterwards and it didn't quite come off, but you can see the option there. So they've hit the ball straight at the keeper a number of times, convinced her to lie down, and then they worked the ball round her. That's really good coaching.
And then finally the fourth goal, again from the short corner.
Oh yeah, this one, short corner. There's Katrina
Ralph. You can see the press it in. Strike. A really great effort here by Sarah Robson, absolutely on full effort to get that to go into the goal and hit the defender's foot.
So here it is here, Katrina Ralph hits the ball. Keeper, Becky Ward, most alert, picks up the ball, slots it home near post.
And what a celebration from Becky Ward. So my thanks, Mark and Lee. It's been a pleasure having you here and hearing your thoughts. You're not going anywhere just yet, of course, because we have more hockey coming up for you next. And the match beginning at 9 o'clock British Summer Time. That's 8 o'clock GMT. If you're watching elsewhere in the world, is Belgium against Korea. And you can see the Belgians out there warming up already. Let's just remind ourselves what's happened so far in the women's event. Yesterday's results saw the United States beat Spain 3-1, quite a comfortable victory for them. Then Ireland came from behind twice against South Africa to draw 2-2. Scotland took the lead against Belgium in their match, 1-up at half-time. Belgium coming back strongly in the second half. A good performance from them to win 2-1. And then the final match of last night was Korea against India, and Korea running out quite comfortable 4-2 winners. The next matches after today in the Women's Champions Challenge will be on Wednesday. The women have a day off tomorrow, and we'll be looking forward to Spain against South Africa, kicking us off in Pool B, followed by the United States against Ireland, Korea against Scotland, and finishing off in Pool A, India against Belgium. And of course the break tomorrow is to allow the men to finish off, and in the men's tournament, the Four Nations being run by Scottish Hockey, the playoff matches are as follows. At 8 o'clock GMT, 9 o'clock BST, Belgium against Argentina, and then the old enemies Scotland and England will face off at 11 o'clock in the final match of the Four Nations tournament. So plenty of world-class hockey still to look forward to. A reminder, though, that here at Glasgow Green in tonight's featured game, it has finished India 0, Scotland 4. Fantastic results for the hosts, one that should give them plenty of confidence as they look forward to the Commonwealth Games here in Glasgow later this year. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in around 20 minutes' time to bring you live coverage of Belgium versus Korea. But from Mark, from Lee, and from myself, Jack McGill, here at the Glasgow Green International Hockey Centre, it's a very good evening.
The best of Scotland is right on your doorstep this year. Hundreds of events are taking place across Scotland to celebrate Homecoming 2014. So you won't have to travel far to find them. Homecoming 2014, a year of brilliant moments right on your doorstep.